Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the first episode of Season 7 Duo Esports, The Tower Dive. As always, I got a phenomenal group of individuals joining me today. Longtime Duo Esports veteran, The Dark Sovereign, a.k.a. Moderator Trap, support player for Pawn Sacrifice Blue, Dark Windsor. Finally, longtime King of Video Production and Shurima, Tommy Two Time. So, let's go ahead and get into our first question. Lighthouse Titans, brand new team this season for the GTS, currently in the Baron division. Are they a powerhouse? I think right now they're sitting at a 3-1 record. Are they a powerhouse, or is this just beginner's luck? Start with you, Dark.
So I think that they aren't directly a powerhouse, but I don't think that they're like bottom of the pack. I think that they're lost to Fight Club. Like they've beaten a lot of the top teams in Baron division, but they lost to Fight Club. However, my boy Sack was on Fight Club, and Sack diff is just fucking real, so he just had to beat them. So I think they can just kind of clean it up, and they'll kind of be a top 3 team by the end of it. But I don't think they're the best in their division. So I think they'll kind of settle around like top 2, top 3.
Okay. All right. Still a top 3 team. Got it. Dark Sovereign, thoughts?
I think they're a pretty solid team. If I remember correctly, I've liked most of the drafts that I've seen from them. I think just they need to clean it up a little bit, and I think they could be like a top team. I would say powerhouse rather than beginner's luck.
Okay. No, that's fair. Tommy, your thoughts on it?
So, I watched the first game that they played on stream. I forget who it was against, but they looked really convincing, and we don't usually see that out of a lot of new faces in Duo. And I don't want to say they're a powerhouse, and I don't want to say it's beginner's luck, because they haven't been playing the easiest of teams, but they also haven't been playing the hardest teams yet. Their loss against Fight Club, I don't think, is a really clear indication, because Fight Club, of course, although it's a meme of an organization, like it's not the same roster that it's been these past couple seasons. So I guess I can say I'd say they're closer to a powerhouse than beginner's luck, but I don't think they'll be top 2. They might pull out third. I think they're in the easier division, so.
All right. So powerhouse-ish, we'll say. We'll go with that.
Yeah, I think that's
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's fair. That's fair. All right. My thoughts on it. So, kind of the same thing. I think we're all pretty much agreeing here that I guess the big oof, if you will, is the Fight Club game. Like, how much does that matter? Is that just unlucky? Is Fight Club really good, maybe, and everyone's just sleeping on them? So, but if we look at all their wins, so they beat DOV Thunder, who I think is a mid-tier teamish. So that doesn't show us a lot. Solar Eclipse, who I think at the time had a very mediocre lineup. Now with the addition of Villain and Daddy Zillion, I think they're an upper tier team. But at the time, mediocre. So 2 mid-tier teams they beat. Okay, that doesn't sound like powerhouse to me. Then they beat Stunned, who I think are a very solid team. It's like, okay, maybe they are a powerhouse. Now I'm, my eyes are big and I'm watching them. And then they lose to Fight Club, which I think we're all in agreement with is just a very well. And then, yeah, you mentioned before, Dark, how Sack diff, and now he's on Pawn Sacrifice Black. So now there's so many things in play here. Is Fight Club a good team? Well, even if they were, how much did legit Sack play into that win? If he was the one carrying them, now he's on Pawn Sacrifice Black, well, Fight Club go back to not being good. If he didn't really do too much, well, then A, that means Pawn Sacrifice Black is going to have a rough season, might not be 3-time champ. B, Fight Club's a good team. And, well, where does that leave Lighthouse Titans? Are they a good team? Did they just maybe get unlucky? Because we've seen it before. A good team loses to a mediocre team. It hasn't happened. So my answer in a very simple term would be no. I don't think they are a powerhouse. I do think they're good, and I do think they will finish probably top 3. Definitely one of my teams to watch. But I think we just have too many variables to just say, yep, top team. They will stomp everyone.
I have a quick question.
Yeah, of
So,
course.
is legit Sack someone that's been around, or is this his first season? Does anybody know?
Honestly, I can't. I'm not super sure. I know him from another league. He was jungler / top laner. He's pretty good. And then I think his claim to fame was he jumped on Pawn Sacrifice Blue, Red. Not super Dark probably knows more than I do. For the Focus semifinals, absolutely ran through the team, and everyone started memeing the sack diff. Then it carried
Okay,
over
because
here.
I was feeling kind of bad because I had never heard of this guy before, and then everyone's saying this like sack diff thing, and I was just like, if he's so good, why have I never heard of him? I've been around since season 4. Like, so if this is his first duo season, like that makes sense. But everyone's
Yeah.
like, oh, Sack's carrying Fight Club, and I was like, isn't Fight Club like 1-3 right now? So is he really carrying that hard? I don't know. But okay, I just wanted to ask because
Yeah.
technically I saw this as a downgrade to PSB. I thought Sheer was arguably the best jungler in the league. And he wasn't even on his main role. Like, his main role has always pretty much been top lane.
Yeah.
It's where he started, but then he moved to jungle, basically when they couldn't find a jungler, and then he spent the time and the commitment to learn the role, and then he was just pretty much walking over people with TK. But now that he's going back to top lane, I think top laners have another team to worry about, but I feel like the jungle for that team got a lot weaker. Only because I don't know him that well. Maybe I could be entirely wrong. I don't know, but that's just my opinion.
I
I
definitely agree. No, go ahead, Dark. Sorry. Or go
I
ahead.
would disagree that it's a downgrade for the team, mostly because Shear's basically you only really see Shear on 3, maybe 4 different champions in the jungle. You saw him the J4, the Lee Sin, the Trundle, and every now and then you'd see him on something like Set. But the main thing is you are also replacing Zooey top lane, who Phoenix is my boy, but he's not a top laner, and he was not going to play anything top lane that was going to be very good.
Yeah, I would have to agree with Brandon 100% on this. Like, not to flame Sheer, but I think they never looked at Sheer because TK was always so far out in front. Like, that doesn't mean Sheer was bad. I think he was a very solid jungler, 100%. But I think he was a support jungler, again, is fine because that's what his team needed. They had a super hard carry in the mid lane, a very big carry in the bot lane, and they've usually had a pretty good carry in the top lane. You can't have 5 carries. That's just math. So Sheer did his job as a supportive jungler, and that was fine. That's what they needed. But now with TK out of the mix, doing the top lane, it kind of was like they need a carry jungler, which that's not Sheer. But I think with legit Sack coming in, he has a way better champ pool. And I think with Sheer going top, he can play a carry. I think it is a huge upgrade PSB. Because I've always said in the past, stop banning TK. You're not going to outban TK. He has like 10 champs he plays well. Teams should have always been banning Sheer. And I think the teams that did well usually did that. They targeted Sheer because if TK doesn't have that support jungler to kind of fall back on to help keep him on track, then he kind of loses his way, which whole conversation for another day. But yeah, I think it'll be good for PSB, and I think it's bad for Fight Club, TLDR. And then yeah, I do think it's, but not 100% on that, but I'm pretty sure. But all right, so I think we covered that pretty well. I like that topic. That was super good. Now let's get to a little more spicier topic. Aether Academy, sitting currently, I believe, 0-5. Are they the reincarnation of Season 5 Fight Club? Or are they just waiting for the perfect time to start their playoff run? You know, give the haters false hope type deal. So, for a little background, Season 5, Duo Esports, Fight Club was an IBSG team at the time. They had a 0-13 run in the IBSG. And in the final week of the league, they beat Divine Ascension. Finished 1-13 in Season 5, which I believe also knocked Divine Ascension out of taking the final playoff spot. So
Yes.
that was a super meme day. But let's hear your thoughts on that. We'll start with you, Tommy. We'll go backward.
How mean can I be?
Hey, man, the fans voted white phosphorus for
Bro,
Spice.
this team fucking sucks. Like,
all right, that's it. I like it.
I don't. Okay, so I know they have Fridge on their roster, and I've always like low-key looked up to Fridge because he's been around in duo for so long, and he's always every time I bring him up, like they mentioned him on the team showcase. We mentioned him on the flank. He was always sort of the bar when it came to the lane. Like if you beat Fridge, you were a good laner. If you lose to Fridge, you're garbage. And I just don't think he can pull his team's weight. And they're just slacking, and he can't carry them. And I think IBSG this season is probably the most competitive it's been since it's been around. Like we have both the Pawn Sacrifice rosters. Both of them are just like tearing it up. They have what's that one team? They played two Rift Warriors, Arknights. When they played on stream, they had that really meme draft and still like almost perfect gamed.
Yes,
2 Poros
yes.
on stack. Like I think IBSG is a lot more intense than it was previously, and this team just can't compete. I seriously think roster changes need to happen, and I know Aether as a whole organization is like really friendly, really still very like competitive, but I don't see this team putting up many wins, if any at all. So I think things need to change.
Sounds like a season 5 Fight Club.
Yeah. So to answer the question, yes. Yes, to answer the question, they're a season 5 Fight Club, 100%.
All right, Brandon, your thoughts?
I'm gonna have to agree. I'm thinking season 5 Fight Club, which is surprising because if you look at their roster, they have Fridge, who has been around in Duo a long time. He's been kind of sus in the past few games, though. There was 2 games that I watched where he died first blood before minions even spawned. Both games. It's really bad. But then you also see people on it like Priceful and Light, who before was known as Hero of Termina, who played in Season 3 Duo and Season 2 Duo, and was widely known as the best AD carry in Duo. Like, hands down. But we also see A Knight and Yeso, who have also been in Duo for a long time. Like, this team has a lot of people who've been here a long time, but they just aren't getting anywhere with it.
So basically, they're just boomers, and boomer fingers can't keep up with zoomer fingers. That's all.
If you want to put it that way, I'll agree with that.
All right, so I guess I'll also mark you down as season 5 reincarnated.
I literally said that at the beginning.
Oh, sorry. My bad. Apologies. Dark, your thoughts?
So I'm going to say season 5 Fight Club. This is actually probably the worst team I've ever played up against.
Oh my god.
They are like so they stand out in my memory. Like I played 4 games so far in Duo. 2 of them really stand out to me. One was the PS Red game for being an epic close battle where we had to constantly think of like every single decision we made and everything counted. The other was Aether Esports, where it was so Papega that it was just like it was so stupid. Like I feel sorry for Fridge. Fridge is actually pretty solid, and it just feels like they are lost like after like 10 minutes. So yeah, I'm gonna say they are season 5 Fight Club. I don't even know if they're gonna get a win if they keep how things have been going. So they might not even be season 5 Fight Club. They might be worse.
Damn, that's wow. Damn.
All right. Well, white phosphorus full effect. This is what you guys voted for. All right. So I kind of agree with everyone here. A little bit. Kind of had a little bit in all of my answers. So kind of go with Dark here. Yeah, I think the team does look lost after 5 minutes. It seems like they're lacking a real mid game to late game, like shot calling, or maybe too many people are shot calling. But there was multiple times where I'm watching the dragon spawn. They have 1-2 players dead. The dragon's already spawned. The other team's on it, and then they just like kind of rush in there, 2 or 3 of them, and then they die because it's a 3v5, and the other team already has position. Like, why are you doing that? Just give up the dragon, because you're like, oh, they're gonna give it up. That's why they're not warding it, right? And then they just sprint in there blindly, and you're like, that was okay. Never mind. So yeah, mid game is just very, I don't know what you're doing. Why are you doing that type deal? Which is not doing them any favors. Same thing Brandon said with the early game. Fridge multiple time has died level 1 pre-minion spawn. One, it looked like he just left his computer because he was just sitting in a bush. The other team walked in. He made no reaction, no movement, and died. So he was like alt-tabbed or something. And then the other one, I think he tried to fight level 1, like by himself and died. So it's like in lane, he's usually doing fine. But when you start yourself out down that much, it's like it's hard to win. At best, you can go even.
Dota. One of them, he wasn't even in the tri-bush. He was like just outside.
That's right. Right. Well, yeah. So he wasn't even in the bush and AFK. So he's doing okay in lane, but yeah, he's starting down behind, so not helping. And then the rest of his team seems okay. The best so far seems to be the bot lane, which, again, like Brandon said, Hero Termina did very well in the earlier seasons. I don't know where he's been, but I guess this is a new name, whatever. But the issue is, after their last loss, he left the duo server. He's still on the roster, but he's not in the duo server. So to me, that kind of says either A, he's got bad mental and he will quit the team if they keep losing, or B, he has already quit the team and they're just keeping him on the roster hoping he shows up game. Either one of those answers is not really what you want to see for a team that's not doing well, and if you're hoping they turn it around, neither one of those really great. So yeah, Fridge needs to stop the level 1 silliness, play normal, do his thing,
Fridge
and he does
is
fine.
Fridge is playing top lane now, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I just feel like that adds to the injury. Like you're putting arguably your better player in the top lane when we know he played mid last season, and I mean they made it to playoffs. He wasn't the most standout player, but he was always pretty solid. And I feel like, especially in this season and the past seasons, like top lane, unless you are ridiculously far ahead, you can't carry games.
Yeah, I agree.
And hey, maybe he goes back to mid lane, starts playing impactful champions like the Orianna, that he was pretty much known for, or the Rumble.
The Rumble.
But I don't think right now. I don't think in top lane he can really do much, especially when the rest of his team is just falling behind so early.
Yeah, bot lane, like I said, seems to do okay. Mid lane, jungle, they're doing okay. They're not, inting or anything. And then Fridge, top lane, after he gets out his level 1 int, does fine. It's just the mid game, I think, is they're huge. They just run around solo queue. I think that's right now the biggest obstacle. They can just stop the level 1 shenanigans, and then at 15 minutes, someone starts telling everyone what to do. Follow it. I think they'll be good. You had something, Brandon?
On the topic of Hero of Termina, weak mental, you gotta remember back in season 2 and season 3 of Duo, he was famous for team hopping.
Yeah.
He played on 4 or 5 different teams throughout the season of Duo in the span of 2 seasons. He hops teams so often. I wouldn't be surprised if he just left the server, but it's something to keep in mind. He did leave the server a couple times back then as well.
Ah, okay. Did not remember that. Well, either way, does not bode well for them. All right, next question. Go ahead and do that. So, everyone go ahead, take a little at your crystal ball that you have. I want you to look into the future. I'm thinking week 6. What are your thoughts on the top 5 for the IBSG, and then the top 3 for each GPCS, Dragon and Baron teams? You don't have to tell me the record. I think they're going to be 10-4. I don't know, whatever. Just, give me a quick little breakdown of your top 5, top 3, what have you. And then we'll go from there. Why don't you start us off, Dark?
So I'll start off with the ISBG because that's where I play in. So I think that Pawn Sacrifice Blue is probably going to stay at the top. Pawn Sacrifice Red shouldn't be going anywhere. I'm so hoping. I don't think that they're going to make it this week, but I think they are going to climb to the spot. Glacial Esports Academy, I am super hyped on. I've been looking kind of at their match histories, and it looks like they've just been kind of stomping out their games really hard. So I'm kind of hoping they take that 3rd slot. After that, I think Rift and Ergatum. Honestly, it's kind of a little wishy-washy towards after the first 3. No one's really stood out to me so far as this team is clearly better. Other than so I'm honestly really looking forward to Glacial Academy. I'm hoping they really show up. For Dragon, I think that I could totally see Pawn Sacrifice Black making a comeback with Legit Sack joining the jungle and Sheer Will coming back to top lane. I think that they're going to become a top contender, joining the likes of Solar Phoenix and MG Wave. For Baron Division, I honestly think it's probably just going to stay the same. Stunt looks really good, and then Lighthouse and Do Thunder. I don't think it's going to change too much.
Wait, so Baron, you had Stun, Titan, and Thunder?
Stun, Titan, Thunder. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. All right. Any team? What do you think is the dark horse for IBSG? Like, who out of those top 5? Who are you not super sure about? You sounded pretty sure about the PS orgs being top 2. What about the other 3? Who do you think is kind of like, I'm just putting them in there?
So Zero Risk was actually pretty good. They could actually make a resurgence when we played against them. And I'm really hoping for Glacial Esports to actually just come through. I'm so hoping as Glacial Esports. That they are currently, I believe, 2-1 right now with what I've seen in the match results. And their 2 wins looked super dominant. So I could totally see them being a dark horse right now.
Yeah, I think they had that one guy in general chat, the slow kid, Smack Talk earlier. I think that was the Glacial
The
Academy
pro
guys.
draft dude.
Yeah. Yeah, he's in a little helmety, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, all right. Now, I don't think any of your choices are super out of, left field or anything dark. Let's go with you. We'll go with you, Tommy. We're gonna skip Brandon for now.
Okay. So I'll start with IBSG. I think blue and red are arguably the 2 best. As of which one is better, I don't know. I know blue holds the record over red at the moment. So I put those as 1 and 2. The rest of it's kind of up in the air. Everyone's either sitting. Well, okay, that's a lie because we have like Aether at 0 and 5, 2 Poison Snack 0 and 3, but
You had to mention Aether.
Okay, well it's pretty fucking hard to like not see it when you look at the standings. Like everyone has at least a win, and then they're just sitting there with a fucking donut. Like,
so you're saying you're not putting Aether at the 5th spot?
You know what? Who knows? Like it's IBSG. Those games are whack. But so yeah, 1 and 2 are blue and red. I'm going to say. I'm going to say Arc Knights at 3. I'm going to put Zero Risk at 4. And then Glacial at 5.
All right. Okay.
Simply because I've seen Zero Risk play, and like they seem more coordinated than some of the other teams. I think that they can actually make out some wins with that. But I haven't seen every IBSG game except for I watch a lot of the blue and red games. I watch the Arknight games because their drafts are funny as hell, but I don't know much about Urgatum or Divine Ascension. I know the Dynasty one's the new team, and they have a bunch of replays they have to do, so I don't know what their record will be, but that's gonna be my 5 for IBSG. So Dragon Division for GPCS. This one's kind of hard for me because I'm playing in this division, and I feel like it's arguably the harder of the 2 divisions. Well, not arguably, it is. I think I'm going to put Solar Phoenix at 1. I think they have the most stacked, the most impressive, the most notable, recognizable roster at the moment. It's I think they're just the best team in GPCS. Number 2, I want to say PSB. I really do, but I don't know if that's gonna be the case with the roster swaps and the role changes. I just don't know how that's gonna work out. So I'll put a little asterisk next to 2 for PSB. And then the third spot's really tough for me because I want to put MG Waves, but I also want to put my team, Primal Radiance, because
You should definitely not put your team.
you're hilarious. Anyway, the reason I want to do that is because we played them the first match of the season, right? Or the first match of Saturday, first week, and the game was close, and we just got outscaled. Like, it wasn't like we got stomped. It wasn't like it was a clean like perfect game or anything. But I see either MG Waves or Primal Radiance as number 3. I think the other 4 teams or 5 teams, whatever, or the other 4 teams, I don't see them being in the top 3. I don't think Crow makes it to top 3. I don't think Valkyrie or Aether, who's doing just as worse or just as bad as their fucking academy team. So I gave my top 4 when you asked for top 3, but that's my answer. And then for Baron, I'm gonna agree with Dark and say Stunned, Lighthouse, DOV Thunder. Maybe with the new bot lane for Solar Eclipse, they can sneak into third. I think Stunned is actually really impressive, and Lighthouse Titans, how they're looking at the moment is pretty good. I don't think Divine Ascension Plat is anything to talk about. GGD, it's just not the same without Kakari, I guess.
True.
DOV Thunder, I think they're pretty good. I don't know. I feel like they're the one that's either third place or fourth place throughout the whole season. So.
Yeah, and I would definitely agree with most of that, except for the MG Waves game. I would say it was more of a coach diff than outscaled. But
Oh yeah, draft difference, 100%.
I believe so. Brandon, your thoughts?
All right, I'm gonna start with IBSG since that's how we've been starting. I think Pawn Sacrifice Red is gonna be above Pawn Sacrifice Blue, mostly because I gotta support my boy Titan,
Yeah, Titan Duff, shout out.
PSB Blue, and then I think it's gonna be Rift, then Divine Ascension Gold, and then Dynasty. I'm putting Dynasty up here because I like giving vaunted ways to disappoint me.
That's hilarious.
I think that maybe they can do well. We'll have to see. We'll have to see after the replays. But I do think that this team can be top 5. For Dragon Division, again, it's going to be basically the same. I think it's going to be Solar Phoenix, MG Waves, and PSB in that order.
Fucking rude, but okay.
I'm sorry, Tommy, but
Hey,
you gotta
I just gotta prove you wrong. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
yeah, prove us wrong.
Set him up, just so you can knock him down.
And then for Baron, Stunned and Lighthouse first 2. I was gonna put Fight Club until the whole debacle where he's now on PS Black. So I don't think Fight Club's gonna be able to make top 3 anymore. I was kind of hoping that they might sneak in, be nice like story from Fight Club just being absolutely terrible, getting 0 wins their first season, getting 1 win their second season. But with Sack gone, I don't think it's gonna happen. I'm gonna put Solar Eclipse in third. We have seen Villain and Zillion bot lane before, back on Active Rush, back in season 5 of Duo.
Something.
It's either season 4 or season 5. Anyways, I don't know if they're going to be as good as they make themselves out to be, but I would like to see an improvement from the team. I do think that they can sneak wins from a lot of the other teams in the division. Because, as we said, GG's just not the same without Kakari. I don't think Divine Ascension Plat is very good. I don't think they're bad, but I don't think they're great. Fight Club, again, we don't know how they're going to perform without Sack. And I kind of feel like DOV Thunder's kind of just up there currently, but I don't think they're going to stay up at the top. I think they're going to fall pretty quickly.
No, 100%. I like it. All right. my thoughts. IBSG, I'm doing the same thing. PS in the top 2 spots. I feel like we're all in agreement that Red Blue are just looking clean right now. For third place, I'm going to go with the Rift Warriors Arknights. Fourth, I'm going to go with Glacial Academy. And then fifth, I'm going to go with Ergodum. I think IBSG 4-5 is pretty iffy. But I think I'm pretty confident in the top 3. Blue, Red, and Arknights. I feel like that's pretty... Yeah, I feel very confident in that. 4-5, though, I want to... Like, Dynasty, I thought looked pretty okay. Like, they had definitely some high points in their match. But then you also got to think they played Aether Academy. Not to be rude, but they are 0-5. So their win was against the 0-5 team. It's like, well, okay, so you're not last type deal. But yeah, definitely more games. I think they have a bunch of reschedules this week, so that'll give everyone a much better idea of where they stand. GPCS, Stunned. I think that's slam dunk, easy peasy guess again. Same thing with Titan. Putting them at 1 and 2, I think, is just free money. Now, the third one, that's the big what? I don't think DOV Thunder, I don't think that they're top 3 team as of right now, just based on the couple games I've seen of them. Fight Club, same thing. I wanted to do it, and then Sack left, so it's like, maybe not. Plat kind of looked mediocre. So I think I'm going to have to give it to Eclipse, because GGG definitely no. And then another team, GPCS, were lacking, so that spot's in as well. But Solar Eclipse, I thought the bot lane, or the AD, was his name Badger or something? I thought he looked...
Cirrus?
Oh, that was it, yeah. I thought he looked very... Yeah. So I think Villain should be an upgrade. And then just the synergy he already has with Daddy Zillion, because, they used to play a lot together. I think they still have a little bit of synergy, a little bit in the tank. So I think they might squeeze into third. But that's not really I think Solar Eclipse is good type deal. I just think that the division is pretty weak right now. Because like I said, DOV is kind of meh. Fight Club, I don't know. We'll see. Divine Ascension Plat, meh. And then GGD is looking not good. Kari left. So it's kind of like best of what's left type deal. And then Dragon, I think, again, slam dunk. Solar Phoenix, I think that is a hard yes, hard win. They're looking super good right now. I got to do PSB. Not rigged. No mod bias, by the way. Got to do PSB. And then third place, again, I feel like that's a really hard one because Waves. Who has Waves beat? I guess that's my big question. I should have did my research.
They beat
beforehand.
Crow, us, and I want to say Valkyrie.
Yeah, Valkyrie sounds right.
Or maybe it was Glacial. It might have been Glacial, I think.
Okay. So I don't think they've had the hardest schedule. MG Waves. Their hardest game, because Crow were 0-3 the week that they lost to Waves. So obviously they were not doing. Glacial and Valkyrie are both 1-2, so not top teams. And then Primal Radiance, I think, is a good team, but they beat them. But I mean, it's best of 1, right? It happens. Sometimes mediocre, even bad teams beat good teams. It is. So I'm not putting, I'm not gonna bet the farm on that game beating everything. So I'll probably go with Primal Radiance, honestly. I mean it. Like, it's not a meme or what have you. Primal Radiance just have a pretty solid team. I mean, Tommy, again, not trying to show any bias, but I think Tommy's proved himself season after season. He's not the best mid laner ever, but he is for sure
It's hard to compete when TK's here. I'm sorry, okay?
It's true. I think Peanut he's an okay bot laner. Coconuts, he seemed fine. I think Nuffies is... Sorry, Miss Coconut. Nuffies, I do think he exaggerates a bit on how good of a coach he is, but he's not bad. So I think he can definitely help. And then your top lane looked okay, and Painless seemed okay as well. So I think... Yeah, go ahead.
Take a moment to appreciate that Primal Radiance's other coach is banned from Duo.
It's true, yes.
True.
He's sliding. Coach. He's sliding in notes underneath the door. Yeah, so that's my picks. But yeah. All right. Easy peasy. Let's go ahead, wrap this up. Last question. Match of the week. Go ahead, Dark.
So I'm gonna say Pawn Sacrifice Blue versus Glacial. Glacial kind of just came in and they had a couple of wins, and I want to see if they can kind of compete with the top. It'll kind of show where they really stand for me.
What do you think the outcome is?
Obviously, I'm gonna say Pawn Sacrifice Blue. Like,
Hey, man, I gotta ask.
I'm not
I
gonna
gotta
ruin-
ask. Gotta make sure I ask. You never know.
Nah, I don't think they're gonna upset, but I definitely think that they might put up a fight.
What do you? Okay, well, give us a little bit of insight. What are you most worried about? Like a lane, a player, draft?
When
You
I
worried
was
about, or
looking at,
anything?
I haven't got to watch any of their games, but I did some draft research, and it looks like they kind of just dunk on kids in lane for mechanical play. So I think if they can actually match us in lane and get some advantages, the game could actually be tough. But I think once it hits around 20 minutes, we'll start to get an advantage and close it out if it's not too big.
I like that. I mean, it sounds good on paper. We'll see. What day is that?
It should be Friday.
Friday. All right. Check that out. Twitch TV/Doers. Brandon, your thoughts?
I'm gonna take the nice and easy one of PSB versus MG Waves.
Boo.
Look, you got the two-time defending champions of PSB trying to come back. Funny story. They are at the worst standing in the regular season that they have ever been because they have only played 2 games. But they are the lowest on the standings that they have ever been.
I'm pretty
At
sure this
rank
is
5.
also tied for the most losses they've ever had in the regular season. And we're only at week.
Yes, it is. So we'll see how that plays out. MG Waves looks like a pretty solid team. We'll have to see how they continue, but I'm just gonna say that it's gonna be a pretty solid game. Although it does look better now for PS Black that they have Sack in the jungle. They have an actual top laner playing top lane. As much as I like Phoenix, the man was planning to play like Victor and Bruiser Nidalee and Bruiser Kiana. Not exactly the most optimal top laners.
This is true. All right. Now, enjoy it. Tommy.
Before I give my answer, I just have a quick question. Who did Solar Phoenix lose to? Because they're 4-1. Does anybody know?
I remember they lost because I believe Kiri overslept his alarm, so they had to use like an e-sub and like swap a bunch of people around. Who'd they lose to?
Was it?
Can't really remember.
It was off stream though, right?
It was off stream, yes. And I remember Kiri overslept his alarms.
Damn.
So that
Okay.
was-
Well.
that's why I kind of don't put too much stock in.
Okay. Well, I was just curious because if that actually made a difference, then I don't know. Okay. My game.
Oh, it was Crow Gaming, by the way.
It was Crow. Oh. Well. So my game is actually going to be the Solar Phoenix and Primal Radiance game. I can't help but plug my own team, but I'm most excited for it because Painless made a bet with Pablo. I forget what the bet exactly was, but if Pablo lost, he had to play Shaco support versus us. And he lost the bet, and now he has been spamming Shaco support in solo queue because he has to play it versus us on Sunday. And I know it's like an obnoxious pick at times, but unless we're playing against like Pink Ward, like I really don't think it's going to be that big of an issue. And I think beating Solar Phoenix can actually, even if it is with them playing like a kind of troll pick, I think beating Solar Phoenix will help, improve our social standing, I guess. So
Yeah.
also, I'm excited to lane against Manatsu because I only got to lane against him once last year, and I think he's a really good mid laner. I just think the comp they played against us was pretty troll, and they had like a whole Yasuo knock-up comp with like Malphite, Gragas, Rakan, and I mean, there's not really much you can do against that. So I'm excited for that game, and that's off stream. We're gonna be playing on Sunday.
Ah, womp womp.
Yeah,
Well, either
I
way,
know.
Still check out Twitch TV/Dewey Sports. So
One question?
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
about you, Dota, but that kind of sounds like match fixing with Shaco support being guaranteed because of a bet.
I
But,
mean, it's not match fixing; it's champ fixing. I don't see that in the rules.
yeah, a gray area to be sure. I'll set my correct team.
I
on it
mean,
once that's okay.
okay, if he was saying I'll play Shaco support and then run to your red buff at a minute 20 and you guys can take the kill, like yeah, that'd be match fixing. But he's just playing the champ. We don't know what he's gonna do.
Very specific example.
I'm just okay. That's
Interesting.
okay. You know what? If that's what happens, I didn't plan that, by the way. Okay.
Right. Don't worry, I'm sending my top investigators on it. All right. My match of the week, I kind of agree. The Black versus Waves. I think it answers a lot of questions. The only problem is I'm not sure how much up to speed Sheer is on the top lane because he's been playing jungle for like feels like ever, and he always refers to it as his off role. But when you play something for 2 years, I don't think it's your off role anymore, man.
It's been less than a year.
No.
Yeah, bro. He was season 5 was February of 2019.
I don't believe that at all.
It's been less than a year.
It's been less than a year when he switched to jungle. Actually, no, it's been a little over a year, but still, it's been a year.
Yeah, like a year and a half.
I think season 5 ended in what, May? Because yeah, it was like April or May, and then he didn't switch to jungle until the start of season 6.
Well, we'll call it a year and a half and then round up to 2 years. So I was right.
What?
Dota,
2 years.
Round down? What?
2 years, like I said.
Delusional.
Man, time passes quick. Air so
Fucking
slow.
boomer math.
Oh my. Anyway, but yeah, it is a big question though, because how good is Sheer top lane? Like, he's been playing jungle for a long time. I don't know if he practices top lane and solo queue, what have you. But we're not really seeing PSB at their full potential now. The good news is, if you're a PSB fan, they did drop some of the dead weight. Allie in the top lane, so they do have Sheer, so definitely an upgrade in that. Legit Sack in the jungle isn't an upgrade from Sheer. We'll kind of wait and see. It's definitely an upgrade as far as champ pool goes. I'll give them that. The big question is no TK in the mid lane, obviously, and then no Shrimp in the bot lane. But I do think that Aqua Domain is pretty good, at least on the Lucian. I'd like to see him play something else once in a while. But
I think he's slept on. I think it's another episode of Shrimp. Like nobody really mentioned Shrimp. I honestly think people sleep on Aqua. I think he's very solid.
Yeah, he's solid. Yeah. No, 100% he's solid, but is it enough?
Debatable, but I don't think people give him enough credit. But he's also just a very quiet guy. You will rarely see him type in general chat. So if he ever has, I don't know.
Yeah, he has a few times, but my pick will be Zero Risk versus 2Poro1 Snack. Why? Because these are two of the bottom IBSG teams. So if you want a match full of why are they doing this, tune in August 29th, this Saturday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard, and you will probably hear that. Why did they do that? Why did he flash there? I don't understand what's going on. Someone save me. So that's going to be my match to watch because I think it'll be wild. But that's everyone here. Appreciate you guys for joining me. So we're going to wrap this up, call it a night. I do believe Pablo's going to be joining us in a few seconds. He'll be doing his Salty Spittoon, I believe is what it's called. It's going to be a little shout out for the fans because you guys wanted some more salt, some more spice in here. You tell us, we deliver. But make sure you guys do check out us on YouTube. Hopefully you're watching it here now. Then check us out, Do Esports on our Twitch TV. Like, subscribe, follow, all that cool jazz. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, yada yada. Shameless plug. Appreciate you guys for joining us, and we'll see you guys next week.
Welcome to the Salty Spittoon. How tough are you?
How tough am I?
Oh wow, hey, it's my little drawing.
Hello, ladies and gents. Welcome to the Salty Spittoon. I am your amazing host, Pablo553. This season of Duo is already in full swing, and some of you have made amazing plays. That being said, most of you actually suck, and the segment here is to call you all out on that. The salt that spews out of my mouth in these next few minutes is entirely your fault. Oh, and don't even bother DMing me about your opinions. You're already blocked in my book. The salt begins with Pawn Sacrifice Black, the infamous mobile gaming top laner Zooey, showing us how easy it is to beat Pawn Sacrifice Black. Not even Omari missing his flash hooks can save them from how gapped Zooey is.
We interrupt this recording for a quick break. Nani.
Shearer just watches this dumpster fire around him and has to run it down with Nasus to win games. The next person I'm actually going to flame here isn't even a player, but Primal Radiance's coach Nuffies spams coach diff every time they win a game, and after a 42-minute banger, if all you got to say is coach diff, then maybe it's a diff coach you need. Tommy 2 times shows us why he was a feared mid laner last season. Unless he's on Swain, then it's a free win. Primal Radiance themselves are just such an overrated team that I'm going to play Shaco support this weekend against them and probably beat them. Some of these GPCS teams look like they would have a hard time in IBSG. And speaking of IBSG, Potato Fist, why the coin flip Hecarim? A really good game, and then 2-10. Yikes. Spike only plays Vel'Koz decently. Actually, IBSG only plays Vel'Koz, it seems. 10 out of 15 games is a bit much for such a dog champ. Honestly, I feel for the ADC players in Duo. Every game, literally every game is Ashe and Caitlyn. 21 and 22 out of 25 in GPCS. But I mean, I kind of understand them a little bit because the supports in this season are just awful. Except me, of course. Oh, I'm getting a phone call. Hold on. Crow's mid laner got busted for account sharing? Okay. Their new mid's way better anyway. Hey, that is the first time I've seen a ban help a team. Congrats to Kograming for that. Yeah, I'll flame my own team. Because nobody is safe either. Villain and Glasses to start, Scorching back into the scene, showing that he is a threat to be dealt with. Let's take a look at some of his monster plays he has so far. Or not. Shrimp Tempura has no concept of a deathless game, and currently has ruined 2 of them this season. Manatsu leaves just for a weekend, just for me to show that I'm a better mid laner than him. Codnim's favorite pastime is dying in his own jungle, and Jodway's favorite pastime is not playing the game for 20 minutes. I would flame myself, but I'm amazing and perfect every way. Okay. That's it for these teams. It is time to flame my real target. Yeah, that's right. That is Duo Esports. Let's start. Voslo's steak looks like tanned leather. Shuno is only good at making the little pretty pictures. I like Chief and Meeps. They're cool. And don't even get me started on Dota, though. That Dota guy is so freaking